Kristine Sargant is an employment consultant with E3 Community Services. She promotes the power of education and lifelong learning and has been working with people with disabilities for 25 years. Welcome, Kristine.
Thanks so much for having me, Tori.
Thank you for coming in. So start us off, introduce us to E3.
Sure, E3 Community Services is actually one of our largest employers in Collingwood. Not only do we have employment services, but we also have supported living supports. We have homes that people live in. We have childcare centers as well as early on education. And we of course have a couple of local businesses.
And what do employment supports look like with the people that you work with?
We offer everything from pre-employment education, which I'll talk about more later, the details of that. We offer networking opportunities. We promote connecting with employers and partnering with employers, and then of course, again, with the educational component that continues even after someone's been successful for job retention.
What do you find holds people back from working with you or from trying a new job?
Definitely some people with disabilities don't have the knowledge or the information to know that they too have all of the options and opportunities and choices that everyone has when it comes to seeking employment. Sometimes it's a lack of information, a lack of support, or a lack of confidence.
How do you address the confidence specifically? That can be challenging for everybody in looking for work.
It definitely is, but I think when you, again, the power of education is huge in my world for me, and I think that once people have knowledge, knowledge is power. And when people understand their abilities better and their own interests and passions, that confidence just increases. And when they become more educated, they build their credentials. Again, the capacities increase, the opportunities increase.
What are the biggest barriers you see preventing employers from hiring people with disabilities?
Oh, sure. Often it's just a fear of the unknown, which is very understandable, and that's why education is important. Some employers may also feel that accommodations may be needed and that might be costly to them. And that's a myth I'll talk about in a few minutes. Also, employers may feel that what are they going to do if the position doesn't work out, right? How are they going to manage that? And again, that's something that we can support. Honestly, we can turn that around though, and we can make employers feel more comfortable with hiring people with disabilities, because statistics do show that inclusive businesses grow profits up to 33% more than their competitors. Businesses who hire people with disabilities also show a 72% increase in productivity.
What do you think is behind that, those positive statistics around the impact?
I think there's lots of things that go into something like that. Also, statistically speaking, employees with disabilities show more loyalty to their employment, and they also show less absenteeism. That alone, as well as maybe some understanding and some compassion, really can change a team at a business. And I've been a part of that so many times where I've seen whole team dynamic shifts because of inclusive hiring. At the same token, patrons who use businesses who promote inclusive hiring show more loyalty, and that contributes to the increase in the profits.
So you mentioned earlier accommodations. Can you give an example of one or two different folks that you've worked with where you've seen the real power of accommodations at work?
Sure. Again, you know, I've been working with E3 Community Services in this capacity for almost 10 years now. And the accommodations that I've used have been very effective and have zero cost. So, and a great example that we use often is simply taking, if someone's learning a new job or maybe a new role at a new job, because promotion is an option for people with disabilities as well, we could use picture strips.
Okay.
So oftentimes someone might start a new job and they have a list of words. This is the order of operations. Well, that might be a little bit too much, and so someone might respond better to just seeing the pictures of the jobs or the tasks that they have to do in the order they have to do them. So the person is very much a part of that. The employee is a part of that process. I might make the task strip, but they would choose the pictures that they're going to use of their actual location. So it's a realistic checklist. And oftentimes once they get that down pat, they might not still need that checklist. So that's a very simple, easy accommodation. Another great example is someone that I have supported for many years, and she has worked at a local restaurant in our community. She got hired to do the dishes, and she worked doing the dishes fantastic for a couple of years. One of the other educational components that we teach is self-advocacy. So she advocated for herself and acknowledged that she wasn't interested in doing the dishes forever. She was interested in trying to work the fry station. Great. We approached her manager, very supportive manager. We sat down together and laid out a training plan. The initial step of that training plan, this particular business had simulators on a computer, so we could start with that. So this particular employee was very willing to do this on her own time. We met at the office and we worked on the simulator. Then she was prepared to go in for the hands-on training. She went in and started learning the fry station. She was doing well, but there was just one step that she kept missing. So we watched what was going on and talked through each step to realize that there was one button on that fry that was giving her trouble. It was the language on the button or the number on the button. That was all that needed to be changed. It was putting a label over it and changing the number on it, and it clicked for her.
So small things
It
can
didn't
make a big
impact anybody
difference.
else. She's been working the fry station successfully for a few years now.
That's awesome. I mean, that kind of promotion is so important for life satisfaction, quality of life.
And realizing that those promotions are a reality for every employee.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to grow in their career maybe, but doesn't know how to get out there?
I would say, again, education is important. And if you don't know where to start for resources in our community, go to our website, E3 Community Services. It will also lead you to other resources in our community.
Awesome.
I would say get a little support, work on your growth and what you really want to be doing, and go for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in, Kristine. It was great to speak with you.
You as well. Thank you.